Hello, and randomly, at like whatever time it is right now, 10:51 in the morning. Hello, everybody. Yeah, everybody's only like three people watching at the moment. Welcome to the Newsburst live special unboxing of this beauty. Yes, I'll be opening Outback today, and getting stuck in here. Like I have really been excited for this one. Another classic favorite of mine. Of course, obviously, Tiger Force One takes precedent in, for me personally, but that's already out and I've had it for ages and it's great. And I do actually have it here. I should have taken it out of the bag I put it in first so it didn't make a lot of noise when I did it, but I didn't do that, did I? Anyway, we've got Tiger Force Outback for comparison a little bit later on as well. So yeah, we'll be delving in to this Classified Series beauty, courtesy of the good folks at In Demand Toys. Thank you, Nick Mass and the rest of the crew. Love you guys, and well, hopefully I'll be seeing you very soon. Still got to work out the flights to get out there, but not too far in the distant future. I'll be heading back to the UK for a little bit. Hello, Jason Pentecost in the comments. How are you doing, buddy? What's up, cheese bags? Indeed. If you're watching, please, of course, comment away, get your questions in, do whatever you need to do, or just watch this later and don't care about all that stuff. But I would appreciate any kind of like on Facebook or YouTube. Anything like that would be fantastic. Really appreciate, obviously, all the support from you guys who watch these remarkably amazing videos. Lols. I'm just getting my little slicer because I'm going to be slicing and dicing my way into this bad boy in a sec. So I suppose, without further ado, we should just get stuck into it, shouldn't we? Yeah. Brilliant. Sorry, I just threw that on the floor. Yeah, good to have you with us. As I said before, I'll be busting this guy open. But first, let's get look at the box first. So first off, we've got that repurposed artwork that obviously is the same as the one that was on the Tiger Force version, but obviously they've changed it now. So he's got the ginger hair, the blue headband. I think he had the blue headband. Yeah, he had the blue headband before. The ginger hair. He's got the blue headband on. I just realized that. And in actual fact, this one is the green headband as on the figure. That's interesting. They didn't change that. Maybe a rushed mistake there, or they just didn't bother. They couldn't be bothered to change it. But obviously, you can see the white shirt on him there instead of the orange. And one thing I do like about this particular box art, and what I like about all of the box art that does this, are these little cute additions. This is very Predator to me. This is very like Long Tall Sally's been playing, and they've just had to cut the radio off, and they're hovering over the tree line of like Belize or wherever it is they are, and they're just like zip line or roping down out of the helicopter. Now it just looks like a standard military helicopter. They haven't done anything like, it would have been cool to be like the Tomahawk or something like that. But again, it's kind of cool and it's interesting. And you guess that's Outback being dropped into the wilderness, and there he is there. This one is very painterly, isn't it? It's very kind of like it's almost like chalk. It's almost like a chalk drawing that you'd see. It's actually pretty cool. I do like that actually in person, more so than I did when I first saw the artwork. And I hardly even gave the artwork on the Tiger Force one any kind of time because I just wanted to bust it open and play with it. Do you know what I mean? Sierra Gordo, Brian Green. Yes, correct. This is the Jungles of Sierra Gordo, 100%. Thank you. Everyone's just staying fresh. Niximus Prime. Philip Donnelly just shouts out back. Hello, Phil. Shout out Articulated Points as well. Go check out those awesome dudes. So that's the front of the box. We've got the render, obviously, here. We all know what Outback looks like. I mean, it's all good. We've kind of seen this figure a million times. Stuart Outback Selkirk, Classified Series. On this side, we've got his special abilities. I always forget what that is, but I looked it up the other day and I can't remember what it is. Special Ops, maybe? Spec Ops, possibly. That one, I'm going to say it's like guns or something. It's ammo, isn't it? So I don't know what that would be. More travel. He loves palm trees. Loves going to the beach. Loves that kind of stuff. And he loves Arizona as well. He loves Arizona. Big fan of it. I'm guessing like desert survival, jungle survival, Yeah, so I guess I should look at those up, and I was going to because I said that the other day that I didn't do it for the last one, and I didn't do it. I actually went on the website and looked at them all, but didn't look at what specifically Outbacks were, and I can't be bothered to do that right now. So you'll just have to go on the website, gijoe.com, and check out what his specialties are. Let me know in the comments if you want to do that, and then I'll read them out. Right, and on the back we have, of course, the renders of the figure. I find that like leg positioning a little bit awkward, don't you? Quite funny that. It just looks a little bit funny, the render. Obviously, the figure's amazing, and he gets into some amazing poses, but that was an odd choice on the render. And then obviously we have the figure and his height and all of his loadout, which looks to be exactly the same as his Tiger Force one, which is good to know that he's getting the same gear. But again, we've probably known that for a long period of time. He's number 63. There's the top of the box. Legal Gumph on the bottom. Get it the right way around. Some legals and some legals there as well. Well, for all my legal eagles, legal beagles. Right, I'm going to cut away at the little bits of tape in the top here with my wonderful little slice. Tiny, tiny little ceramic blade on it, and it's kind of safe, but also very effective too. One done, and two done. There we go. Right, now I shall get this beauty out, and we shall start the process of unboxing. And we'll start with, as we always do on these videos. Hang on. Hang about. There we go. We've got the weapons crate, of course, exactly the same as the other weapons crate. We did barbecue the other day, same blue, except this time it's got Stuart Outback Selkirk on it. It's got his little beep, 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 beep code front thing there with the logos. We've got the number 63 and the fake candles, 4 candles on there. We've also got 4 candles. We actually have got 4 fake candles, 2 on the side and 2 on the top, and then the back's got that nice little detail with the hinges in there, and then the bottom is just the kind of like little kind of base bits that stick out, which would stick out if it was an actual real thing. What are you saying in the comments, guys, already? Ed says, woo, I didn't miss this one. I'm glad you're in here. Sierra Muerte, says Robert H. Yeah, it could be Sierra Muerte, Sierra Gordo, any of the Sierras in the G.I. Joe history map kind of scenario. Michael Miller, sounds like you're having a good time. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but it sounds like you're just watching this while you do other things. I think you can guess what that is. Exactly. Ed says, oh, popping. Oh, I see. You mean he is. I see now. I thought you were watching this video whilst popping a squat. So I see what you're saying there then. And it's like Ed saying, when you got to go. Survival. Absolutely. Right then. Oh, Mr. Cheeseburger says, I like this. I wish Hasbro would send you figures, early samples, and let you reveal G.I. Joes. You're the only YouTuber who loves and respects G.I. Joe. Thank you for that. Oh, that's a nice thing to say. I know a lot of people that do love and respect G.I. Joe, 100% Mr. Cheeseburger, but I do appreciate that sentiment. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of approach it in a different way than a lot of people do. And I think you can see from the kind of reaction that it gets that I'm not really in this for the, I'm not in this for the fame, should we say, or the money. It's really a case of just doing it because I enjoy it. And I think some people do. I think other people do enjoy it. I just think they probably come at it more aggressively, negatively. And fair enough. If you're going to do that, that's up to you, isn't it? Anyway, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mrs. Cheeseburger. I would love to get early figures to do reveals and stuff. Good morning, Rachel. And here's the obviously the classic 2 pieces of tissue fused together to create a bag of sorts with the Cobra and Joe logos on it. Nice noise, isn't it? Open that, and let's have a look at all the gear he comes with, which we all know what he comes with, but at least you're going to get it. At least you're going to get it individually. Take an absolute age to do so. So we first have got his rifle with a little kind of strap. Now this is much stronger than the previous one, by the way. So the previous rifle, I'll get it in a second for comparison, was so squidgy and bendy that I don't even think the magazine clip stayed in very well. I'm just gonna have a look how I've put that one in. Yeah, like that. Okay. So this is something I think I've done just from my eye. But you can see that there's a different pattern on the magazine on the bottom. You see how it kind of on the bottom there's like lines that flare the other direction. So I kind of put the flared lines, if you see them on the bottom left, those flared lines I put to the back usually of the gun, I think, yes. So I would put the magazine in with those flared lines at the bottom and also pointing to the back. Now it goes in a lot tighter and a lot stronger. And I've put it in the exact opposite way I said I was going to put it in. Kitty said. There we go. Right. That is in there like swimwear now. Can you see what I mean? Like those flared lines I put to the back. Again, I think you can do it either way. Well, it goes in either way, so you can do it either way you want. But that's how I personally do it. The rifle's actually much better with a bit of rigidity. However, this strap is no longer really useful for that. Because, I mean, you can only really get it over his shoulder when you take the magazine out. And even then, it doesn't, yeah. And sorry, here's the comparison. So it's a darker plastic. It's like a black instead of a gray. And the straps are different colors as well. Like the Tiger Force one is like a kind of almost like a reddy brown. And this one's kind of much more a browny brown. Hilarious. But yeah, this is way more solid than that flexible one that Tiger Force Outback has. Incredible start. Okay, cool. So I guess that's like, would you say that's a fix? Probably, isn't it, in a sense? Because the one I had, anecdote is happening. This particular rifle, I took this figure and this rifle, but not that magazine, we went to Maine, Kate and I, for like a little break. And when we were there, we took pictures of this and Crocmaster in this really like beautiful. So I've got the images on Hoarder if you want to check them out of my Outback. I posted them as well on the page, and got some cracking photos by this water, and it was brilliant, awesome stuff. Anyway, I was really careful. Took all of his gear, like made sure I got everything, put it in the bag. Went back home and everything, and then I realized that I didn't have his magazine, and it must have fallen out at some point during that expedition. And so there is a magazine clip for a figure somewhere in that area. If you find it, let me know. Just kidding. And yeah, so I ended up without a magazine. So I just happened, and this was when Corey was still on the brand. I messaged Corey and asked him if he had any spares, and he very kindly did, and said, "He just come around and grab it." So I came around and he gave me actually a full rifle with the magazine. He just said, "There you go, have the whole rifle." So I do have an extra magazineless, clipless, what do you call it, rifle for Tiger Force Outback. So there you have it. There's my Chris's funny stories. You'll only get that if you know Alan Partridge. What else we saying? Paddy, real talk, is the gun less horrifically bendy than the TF version? Yes, Paddy, it is rock solid. That thing, look, that's me bending it. That is me literally putting force on it. I'll probably break it. There's no bend in that gun anymore. None at all. I'll look at it now and it'll be like completely curved. No, it's absolutely solid as a rock. There's a bit of give on the strap, but only because of the minimal amount that it's connected to the actual rifle. I'm also trying to keep an eye out while I'm doing this on the Mezco. Oh, and no, is that it? No, I just saw a picture of, it was Firefly. It wasn't even Storm Shadow. But I'm keeping an eye out just in case, because obviously we'll have to do a news burst and all that kind of stuff with that. Okay, moving on. We have Le Shovel. I'll just take that off the screen. Sorry, Paddy. Paddy says, I find it funny that the rifle hooks to the backpack by its trigger. Seems like an accident waiting to happen. Absolutely. Agent Chuckle says, okay, I just tuned in and heard solid as a rock. What did I miss? Nothing dirty. Anyway, so we've got the shovel here, which is in cast in all black, which is pretty cool. And if we get Outback here, we'll see that the Tiger Force Outback was a grey color. So they've definitely changed that. Again, same thing, but different color. And again, you can apply the same rationale to the flashlight, or torch, as we would call it in the UK. And it's a lot less worse than saying flashlight and it sounding like something else. But there's his. Do you need that for survival? I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, you do need a flashlight for that. Anyway, black, and the other old one was kind of grey. Again, same scenario with the knife. I'm just going to take it out of his sheath on his ankle and show you those. Now, this one has even got different blade coloring. So you've got a much kind of chromier, silvery blade than the Tiger Force one. And again, it's the grey and black scenario. So the new one is black with the kind of silver blade, and the Tiger Force one is, I think it's just all grey. Yeah, all grey. They didn't go to any level of deco on that original one. Never noticed that before. I probably have, but just didn't pay it any mind until I got this one in hand. Right, so that's that, and that. We also have the pistol with a little strapping on the handle. This is all in black again, apart from that bit of strapping. So let me just get the other one out to show the comparison. And there you go. So the one in this hand here is the new one, the black one, and this is the grey one, or dark grey one. There isn't, no, I tell a lie. This is the black one. No, I just did that. Yeah, I was right. This is the black one, and this is the grey one right here in this hand. So you can see that the strapping is actually, these are different. The handles are different sizes. Genuinely wasn't aware until I just had them up close on the screen. Look at that. It's a different mold. That handle is completely different. That is a different pistol, almost. I mean, it is. It's the same kind of pistol, but the handles are significantly different. Isn't that weird? Let me get out of the way and show you the difference there in handle sizes. That's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that weird? I was not expecting that. So yeah, there you go. That's the pistols, and I've just forgotten which is which. No, that's it. Yeah, Tiger Force has got the thicker handle and the grey pistol, obviously, and the black one is for other standard Outback. And then, of course, we have the famous, I don't call it famous, backpack, which is in a lighter tan. I love this backpack. It's huge, it's awesomely detailed, loads of cool straps and bits and pieces. Of course, you've got the pegs on there to carry the shovel and the rifle should you want to. And here's a comparison with the Tiger Force one, which is obviously a darker brown. But it's again, no differences on this one. This seems to be exactly the same in just the color difference. But this is why we do it, so that we can see the difference in the handle sizes on pistols. This is how we do it. Really cool, awesome, and there you go. Right, now, personally, what do I do with it? I think I put the shovel. I think I put the shovel on that side, like so. Usually I put it on like, so it kind of like goes with the you know, the shape goes around with the backpack kind of thing, and I put it on that side. So I'm going to do the same with, I'm going to do the same here because I just like having structure to my life. So the shovel goes on very, very easily and comfortably and sits there. Obviously there you go. On the Tiger Force one, you can see the difference of the little brown peg through the grey, but it's not as clear or obvious as the tan on black, is it? So you can definitely kind of get away with this one not really being noticeable, like poking through, but that peg you definitely see. What structure, says Darren Marshall? Exactly, there is no structure, not in my life. Right, so next up then, well, we've got to get Outback out. Would probably be handy, wouldn't it? Should we do that next? I'm going to say yes. Okay, here we go. This is what you came to see, I think. Outback, there he is, giving it the big one in his tray. Fantastic, there he is. So obviously I'll take him out of this, but we can have a look in tray initially. Beautiful head sculpt. I love that head sculpt. Missing a bit of paint there, I think, on the bottom of the hair. Or it's just very subtle. Can you see that near his ear? It shows up a lot more on camera, believe it or not. When you look at it in real life, it's kind of more subtle. Like there is a color on it. It's just not. Yeah, they've missed a little bit of deco hit there, and I will point that out. Obviously, still looks brilliant. Love that head sculpt. The survival on the t-shirt is pretty dope as well. Let's just move that out of the way so you can actually see the full word and his chest. Looking good in the white, and then you got the camo on the pants, and you got the different strap colors as well, kind of tan instead of the kind of brown. So yeah, lovely stuff. Let's bust them out. And I will say this again, these straps are so much easier to operate. Just twist them and they come off and it's done. Love that. You know, as someone that has kind of had to battle with like Transformers toys sometimes with some of the strapping they use in there is just awful, or was. So I'm glad now it's a little easier to get these things out, he says, struggling to get it out. Kitty said. Right, so Outback, get out, mate. Get out back. He's out. I'll put that to the side, his little tray. And here he be. There's a few secondaries that need kind of sorting out and moving around, which I will deal with in a second. Similar faces, yeah, beard, all that kind of jazz. Brilliant. I love this already. I will say, yeah, that little kind of mist deco on the very kind of bottom of the hair on that side is the only real paint app issue I'm having there. Like the eyes look all right. The eyes look really good, actually. Again, looking, yeah, like it doesn't come across. Again, it might be the lighting because of this. I'm going too close, and this light is not being utilized. But yeah, really good stuff. Let's get to see his secondary. That secondary is really cool, isn't it? I do like that, and the fact that it doesn't necessarily cover up the entire word. You can still see what's going on, and you can actually move it into place where you see the whole word as well, which is pretty dope. Survival. And I saw someone talking about how it wasn't curved, and I said this at the time. I said, I bet it's the angle at which we're looking at it. I bet it is curved ever so slightly, and it is. There is a curvature to it, but it's just the angle you're looking at it. Can you see the curvature? There you go, look, survival curvature. But if you kind of move it, like it was literally, the image was closer to like that. And you can see it's like flatter, but there's the curvature. You just have to like slightly move it up and you see it. So I'm really happy that they have gone with that ever so slight curvature on the text, because I saw a few images and I was like, oh yeah, that looks straight. But then I did say at the time, I bet it's just the angle which we're looking at, because it's always the case with these things. You think, oh, they've messed that up, but no, it was actually pretty standard. Now, this secondary where the flashlight goes into has kind of hoiked its way right up into his grundle. So I have to try and ease that back very carefully. I don't want to hurt Outback in his survivalist parts. Let's yeah, I just want to shift that down a little bit because the flashlight does not need to be that high up into his crotch, does it? Let's face it. Crotch and Grundle. It's a new buddy cop movie. He was a crutch. He was a Grundle. Right. Okay. So there we go. I think that's a nice balance there. A bit further down. Looks a little bit better now. Yeah, and this is what I love about these secondaries, though. You can kind of like mess about with them and get them in the place you want, and they're pretty like they're good. They kind of stay in position. Just kind of worked his ankle one out a little bit as well, which I would say the ankle one does look a little bit out of place sometimes, doesn't it? Not so much on the Tiger Force version because of again, like the brown on the kind of the darker colors together hide some of it, but when you have that contrast. When you have that contrast of, light and dark, it can look a little bit out of place sometimes. But yeah, you still kind of you've got to make this tan though, otherwise it doesn't look right. I'm going to try and move up his ankle a bit though, just to see if I can kind of get it. Yeah. Okay, that'll do. There he is. Beep. Right, so let's get his gear on. Get your gear on, mate. I very rarely do like articulation examples on these ones because we all know what they do. The elbows bend, the shoulder, you know all the articulation points. And of course, we've already seen this on Tiger Force Bazooka, so we all know what that deal is. What I will say is I'm always very gentle with the joints when I get them out of the box. But these ones are always very, very good and strong, but not like to the point where they're going to break, which is good. Now, another thing I want to point out is the orange hair deco on his arms. Very cool. Gotta love that little touch. And again, I think it was gray. Yeah, it was kind of like it was like a gray color on the Tiger Force one. Awesome. So we can see a little comparison of the arms. Lovely stuff. Yeah, oh man, he actually looks so good. Something else I didn't notice. Well, I have seen it before because I'm noticing it now and going, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. But it's the different deco on the tops of the secondaries are kind of like a different brown on the tan. Oh, lovely stuff. And again, like something I didn't really notice or pay attention to on the Tiger Force one, but there is a difference in deco on that as well. It's very subtle on that one though. It's like a dark gray on a dark brown, so you don't really kind of see it. The camouflage as well, you can see quite nicely on his butt. And then obviously the texture on the pants does kind of like prevent a nice clear view of the camouflage, just for the way that it sits. It kind of like blends in a little bit, but there's certain spots where you really do catch it and see it in the light. And it's nice. And it, again, very similar to Tiger Force Outback, but you can see the difference in shade there of the pants. So this is more of a dull green on the Tiger Force, and this is a much brighter green on the regular version. Wow, really getting into it today, aren't I? And of course, we've got black gloves on him as well. Black gloves instead of the... they might be the same. It's just the wrist parts have got green on them. So he's got little green cuffs, but the gloves might be ever so slightly different. There's a lighter, I think it's a lighter color, ever so slightly on Tiger Force Outback. Yeah, so you can see it on there again a lot clearer. Right, backpack goes on, and you've got like look how it lines up perfectly. I've always thought that's quite impressive though, that the hole in the back and the secondary are like perfect. Like there's hardly any of that moment when you kind of put it through the secondary and have to find the back hole, Kitty said. Now the backpack fits much in the same way as the Tiger Force one does. Like it's on, but then the slightest of movements away or flexes away and it will probably come off. Now, as you can see, it's on there solidly. I'm not holding it. I'm just holding the figure and I'm just shaking it. It won't come off even if I do that. See? Not bad. So it's not coming off, but there's a thing where when you futz with it, actually this is on there a lot better than the Tiger Force one. I'll just say that right now. The Tiger Force one will sometimes, like if there's a ghost in the room, you'll hear this clunk, and then look over and you just, it's your backpack again, isn't it? But yeah, and then Slimer's there. So yeah, that fits an absolute treat. And doesn't it look good in the tan? Like this figure, man, the original, the vintage, oh, love it. The artwork, oh, the original, I want to say, is that it's not Norham, is it? I think it might be a Garrido, the Outback one. I feel terrible for not knowing because it's one of my favorites. And I definitely have found out in the past and just have forgotten. But the card art on the vintage Outback is so sensational. In the mountains, holding the backpack, looking into the distance, almost like he's like getting ready to move from his camp, or he's setting up camp. Sorry, I'm also going to just check to see if Mezco have posted their thing yet. No, it doesn't look like it. Let me know in the comments if they do, though, please. That'd be great. Let's have a look at what Luke Poulon is saying here. This is interesting. If you compare the face print of the OG version to the Tiger Force version, you will see that the original looks more cartoony and less realistic. I think there was a problem at the factory with the face print for the latest wave, and that is one reason why Falcon's face is so off. Yeah, Luke, there's been a few concerns there, hasn't there? So let's have a look. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's have a look at both of their head sculpts together. And yeah, you can definitely see that. The Tiger Force one has got almost like more of a You know, like there's almost like they've done it so that they've made this one young and this one old. Do you know what I mean? Like this one has got that kind of, you know, almost like wash on it, where it's like there's kind of like a lot of kind of subtle tones going on there around the eyes and around the cheekbones, and the beard has obviously got a lot of texture and depth. And this one definitely has a more vibrant, kind of bright outlook with less of a wash and all that kind of stuff, more of a bright-eyed kind of look. I'm not sure if they were trying to do. Yeah, you're probably right in the fact that it was a factory changeover kind of scenario. But I wonder if they were doing it almost on purpose to make this one look older and this one look younger, almost like, you know, the time. This is the time period that's gone by, and as you get older, you start wearing crazier clothes. I'm kidding. It's usually the other way around, isn't it? So yeah, that's an interesting point though. There is a definite difference there. I mean, you can see it. I'm going to put them back up again, so you can see both head sculpts. But there is a markedly different look to both of the tampo or the deco applications for the face. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Um, Nixtimus Prime has asked, does the skin tone on his elbow match his arms? I can tell you now, just looking at it straight away, I do not think so. I think we've got another elbow color kind of difference. You can see it slightly there. It's actually more prominent in real life. Funnily enough, when I did the Tiger Force Bazooka, it was more prominent on camera and less prominent in real life. And this one is more prominent on in real life and less prominent on camera. So there you go. You can see it though. You can see the difference in color. So yeah, it does look significantly different. But again, I don't know. I don't mind as much. That does not bother me a great deal. But it is one of those things where you kind of hope going forward that they can kind of get that color matching a lot closer. Robert H says, my Tiger Force Outback wears his backpack just fine. Mine does too, actually. I was kind of, it was more a bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Like, it goes on there. Watch it fall off now. It goes on there and stays on there, but like every now and again, like if I move it slightly or if I change the angle on the back, sometimes it'll just pop out. But yeah, they're good. I kind of wish with the backpacks there was a way to connect them in a different way to the secondaries. So it wasn't just pegging into a back. So you didn't have the peg for a start, and it was just like the secondary was the straps, and the straps just went on, and the straps attached to the backpack. That would be cool, in my opinion. I think that would be well awesome. And I think that would be something that could be done, you know, at that level. If it was just like, I don't know, like a clasp or just like something very simple, like it's slotted over the top of the back of the actual secondary. I guess you might have a weight on it and it might pull the secondary up, but I think they could get around that way by using the correct materials, though. The iris is larger on the OG Outback, says Darren. I think they're the same size. They're just painted in different brighter colors. So it looks like the black is dominant though on the OG and not so much on this one. But when I look at them close together in this way, the black isn't as prominent again on camera. I think it's because it bleeds into a very bright blue, and the blue almost looks like it kind of carries that black over. But there's you know, you can see on camera anyway what's going on there. Oh, sorry, Ed. You've missed it now. I've done the whole thing. Right, so I've put all his gear on. So he's got his flashlight there. He's got his knife in his sheath. He's got his pistol in his holster, and he's got his backpack with his shovel. Of course, got his rifle with magazines. So I'm going to get that in his hand. Now, I'm interested to see how this kind of like sits, if it does sit comfortably or not, because of the rigidity to the plastic now. I wonder if that'll have an effect. No, kind of slots in there nicely. So the thumb kind of goes into that gap and the hand goes into that gap between the rifle handle and the strap. So it's nice and, you know, you kind of avoid that. So that's fine. I do think I prefer, what do I prefer? Probably this new rigid version. I think I prefer the new rigid version to the wibbly wobbly, you could lose your magazine at any moment version on the Tiger Force figure, but absolutely outstanding. Two survivalists, one with fashion sense and the other with a white t-shirt on. Brilliant. Right. Yeah. Oh God. So yeah, I'm very happy with Outbacks. I'll pop Tiger Force away for now. We've seen Tiger Force. You can stay there now. Right. In summary, in conclusion, this is a solid repaint of Outback from the Tiger Force version. Again, the Tiger Force version holds a much closer place in my heart, but I think mainly for the kitty shirt kind of aspect more so than anything else. Now, this version, of course, was the first version I bought on Action Force International Heroes card back in, like, was it 88, 9? I can't remember now. It was a while back though. It would have been, I think it would have been 88, 89 though, around that time. Maybe even been 87. No, it would have been 87. It was too early for 87 because 87 was the first lot of, figures for the International Heroes. Outback came a little bit later. So yeah, so basically, I remember getting him in a Gerald's in Norwich. I got him, and I can't remember what the other figure was I got at the same time. What was the other figure? God, it was Cobra, I think. It might have been one of the I'm gonna have to have a look at Yojo to see what came out that year, or Blood for the Baron. But basically, yeah, I remember getting this one on card and just loving it. The file card had the little acrostic survival thing on it, so it had, like, all the different terms for each letter of the word survival on his file card. It was just so interesting, and the card art spoke to me, and the figure design spoke to me, and the accessories were awesome. The secondary, the backpack, the famous rifle he came with, the flashlight coming off his leg. I mean, that was dope. Little peg-in job, brilliant. Yeah, I was absolutely besotted with the figure, and then didn't really like. There wasn't really a lot of the only Outback story I think in the comics in the UK was the one in the Outback where he's getting a psychological evaluation by Psych Out in Australia, and they're in the Outback kind of like roughing it and having this kind of like almost like therapy session, and the Dreadnoks turn up, and it's a big fight with the Dreadnoks in Australia. It's well good, really good issue. And Outback obviously is in that, and he's superb. Kind of, they played him a little unhinged in the comic as well, like a little bit crazy. So I did kind of, it was an interesting angle considering where he was going in the Marvel comics, which was like, this tortured soul after going into, was it Barovia with Stalker, Quick Kick, and here's the other one. Stalker, Quick Kick, and I've completely forgotten who else was in Barovia. They all got captured. Outback escaped. Well, Outback was ordered to escape by Stalker, and yeah, and obviously didn't want to, but he was forced to, orders wise. And then when he got back to HQ, the Joes kind of treated him a little bit crap, didn't they? Snowjob, thank you, Ed. Yeah, Snowjob, Quick Kick, and Stalker were the ones that were captured. And yeah, there was that great one of him actually escaping, a whole issue of him escaping and getting away from the Barovians, which is really good. And then obviously all the kind of nuance when he got back and having to deal with, people kind of like treating him, ostracizing him a little bit. And then when they came back, Outback was redeemed, and it was all kind of really cool. Yeah, awesome. Was Crazy Legs in there, Darren? Was he? Or are you just saying because Crazy Legs... Was Crazy Legs in Barovia got captured? I don't think so. I think it was just Snowjob, Stalker, and Quick Kick from my recollection. I could be wrong. Crazy Legs could have been there, but I can't remember that. Pretty much Leatherneck treating him poorly. Yeah, Leatherneck was kind of peed off, wasn't he? There's that moment when he's on the bed, on the bunk, and one of them kind of like almost comes up to him and almost threatens him, and he pulls his like knife out or whatever, or and I remember that being like kind of like dope. He's hard. Outback's hard as nails, and I love the kind of angle of like surviving in the wilderness. I thought that was really cool. So, oh yeah, I see. True Shalabismia, Crazy Legs death. Okay, Dan, you're just crying about Crazy Legs. I see. I see what's happening here. Oh, there's loads of comments. Sorry. I've missed loads. Are the maybe? Oh, okay. Darren's saying maybe that is also causing the OG version to look more cartoony. The irises, yeah, definitely. Again, it's weird because if I look at close, they're not as big as when I show them on here. And I think the lighting on that side is causing it to look a little bit weird. But yeah, they're just, we're just normal men. We're just innocent men. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not explaining that. Ray Murphy says, hello, Ray. Magnets for the backpacks, then soles of the boots. Hasbro restarts the Starcom line. Win-win. I like that thinking. Magnets are weird. They have to be really powerful if they're behind plastic. If they're exposed and painted over, might work, but then the paint will probably come off after a few uses. So you kind of have to get really, like, if it's inside, the power needed to kind of get a really good connection, you need really powerful magnets. I don't think you can use those kind of powerful magnets in toys. I think there's like some sort of like level that you can actually utilize, for safety reasons and stuff like that. Just checking to see if Mezco have posted. I've got a lot of work ahead of me if they have, but I can't see anything just yet. Again, let me know in the comments if they do. That way, I'm not doing all the work. Some of it can be you guys doing it for me. No, it looks like it's still on the original pre-order thingy. Okay, I'm keeping that open though because I'm gonna have to monitor that all day long. Anyway, yes, Ray Murphy, let's get Starcom going again. Ryan Daly says, can't wait to compare his head to Snowjob to see whose red beard is beardier. I like it, Ryan. I've gotten so used to old man Outback, says Ed. Yes, exactly. It's like old man Logan, isn't it? And now back, the young whippersnapper is back. Awesome. I really hope Pulse or Amazon actually ships these next week. Yeah, they should be. I mean, I've got mine ages ago, and I just haven't had the time to do the unboxings. So it's the only time I can get them out. But I've had them for ages. And again, thanks to Nick and Mass in the UK and In Demand Toys, of course, for that. Ed says, my first experience with the vintage figure was the bitter, balding, big baller figure in 2001. Interesting. 1987 Cobra, single-carded Cobras with Big Boa, Armored CC, Crocmaster, Crystal Ball, Raptor, and Techno Viper. I believe it was Raptor who I got with Outback. I knew it was one of the quirkier ones, but having seen it written out like that, I'm pretty sure it was Raptor. I also had Armored, Cobra Commander, Crocmaster, and Big Boa, but I got them in different times. But I do remember getting Raptor and Outback together. Thank you, Darren. That actually helped jog my memory. What are we going on here? Oh, sorry, Diana, you're late. Another elliptical workout with a full force. When do you do them? And I'll just try and get you on your elliptical schedule. Amazing. Okay. Ages ago. Yeah, that was me humble bragging, Ed, 100%. It was, though. This is the thing. I only get them out, Kitty says, on unboxings, and then that's when they're out and I can mess with them and stuff. Because I have to do the whole, snip the tape, and I couldn't I'm too. It's the only way I can actually get into them and then actually have them out to look at and enjoy. So I have to get these it's like an OCD thing now. Like, people are probably like, oh, you don't have to, mate. No one cares. No one watches these things. But I just have to do it now. So, yeah, you're really waiting for that Mezco Squall Shade. Sorry, Robert, you lost me completely. But yeah, I'm waiting for that Storm Shadow to come out just so I can see what's going on. Yeah, right. And obviously do the news burst and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Before we bring it to a close, let's do a slight transition. So yeah, we looked at and unboxed this wonderful Outback in his regular white shirt and brighter green camo pants. and his tan accessories and his more rigid rifle with more black accessories as well on the other things, and a different pistol handle, by the way. Has anyone noticed that? Because I was, I see storm shade. I see what you're saying. Shadow. Squall equals storm, shade equals shadow. I see what you're saying there now. Sorry. Um, I just, yeah, I didn't. I don't think I've ever heard the word squall before. I think that's all it was. I know it's storm shadow, but I didn't realize that's what you. I just thought you'd made a massive typo in the comment. Anyway, thanks for brightening my Friday morning with your live stream, Full Force Forever. Thank you, Luke, and thank you for brightening the comments with your lovely comments and help and everything like that. So I appreciate that, Luke. Thank you, and to everyone that's been, thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. Thanks to another unboxing, Chris. I'll have to go back and watch the actual unboxing afterwards. Well, you got the good bits at the beginning and the end, me just gobbing off about random stuff. But yeah, this is what we opened. The awesome Outback. Let's go through a quick summary, though. Let's do the summary breakdown of what I think about the whole thing in general. In terms of the package art, I actually do really enjoy this in hand. There's a real quality to it in that kind of and it does look like a chalk kind of drawing and everything. It's really cool, up close and personal. And I love that little helicopter drop in very Predator-esque. In what we've decided is either Sierra Gordo or Sierra Muerte, which is cool. Obviously, yeah. So that not bad. I like that. It's a decent addition to the classified artwork on that one. Now, as for the figure, one thing I will mention on there though, blue headband, just like the Tiger Force one. They didn't change it to green, which is obviously what this one is. So we've got a slightly a couple of things with the art, the paint applications. Seems to be some very weird things going on the face, making the eyes very, very bright. Not doing the same kind of wash on the skin necessarily to get it of the kind of same ilk. But effectively what you end up with is an old version on Tiger Force and a much younger looking version on the OG. I will also point out that little bit of missing deco on the bottom of the hair near the ear, near the ear lobe on that side, as you can see. So that was something that I noticed as soon as I opened the box, actually. I was like, oh, they missed a little bit of paint there. But for the rest of the figure, there is no issue deco-wise. The survival looks dope and is curved. It's just a matter of perspective. It's just the way it's on his chest as well. But again, looks awesome. And what else to be fun? Yeah, the deco on the pants is cool as well. Subtle in certain areas. But when you get less texture build-up and material maneuverage, you can actually see there is a pattern on there. But when it starts getting crumpled near the bottom of the boots, that's where you really do have to kind of look at it carefully. The rifle is now more sturdier than the original, so there's none of that wibbly wobbliness, and the magazine fits in there nice and securely, so won't go anywhere. Obviously, there are different deco hits all over the place for the arms, having the kind of ginger hair on the arms there instead of the kind of almost like dark grey on the Tiger Force version. Of course, we have the very interesting change of pistol handle, which on the new one is much thinner, much smaller handle than the Tiger Force one. Such an interesting retool there. I wonder why they did that. Maybe it was like that pistol was too big for the hand, perhaps, and they made it smaller just to make it easy for him to hold. Who knows? We also obviously got the other amazing little the differences in deco, like this blade having the kind of silver paint on the blade now as I drop it and then press the pause button and then bring that up for some random reason. Sorry, that's me just being a clumsy old all thumbs maneuver. So we've got that kind of nice color on the actual blade itself, and yeah, and the backpack being awesome as well, and the secondary and everything and all that good stuff. So in summation, a really solid repaint of the Tiger Force version to get the original, and he's going to take pride of place on my desk for a little while as well, with all the other new ones I've had to open. And just as I start glitching out, I can see the Wi-Fi struggling. Yeah, we'll bring it to a close there, guys. Thank you so much. So just looking at some more of the comments here. Diana says, is that new factory versus old? Very likely. Almost certainly, yes. And Ed says, that's great news. Weapons should be in sturdier plastic while the hands are soft. Yeah, totally. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone, for all of your great comments and all of your questions and all that good stuff. I'm going to now be busy keeping an eye on the Mezco site to see when the Storm Shadow goes up for pre-order today, but it should be happening today. And then tomorrow, it's the weekly. Not just that, though. Super 7 are dropping their April the 1st kind of G.I. Joe reveal, aren't they? So I have a feeling it's going to be during our weekly, and therefore I'll have to do a news burst after the fact. But if it happens early in the morning, which I don't think it will, they usually kind of keep it early on the West Coast, which pushes it to about like 12 or 1 o'clock East Coast time. So I'll be kind of keeping an eye on that, almost hoping for a leak reveal so that Pat and I have got something to talk about for that particular. I mean, we've got loads to talk about, but for that particular story, that would be interesting to have a chat with Pat about. But I'll be doing a news burst following that anyway. We've got another monthly coming up. It was going to be recorded today, but we had to kind of postpone it. So we'll be recording that soon, though. It'll be coming out in April, obviously. Terrence says, tell them to coordinate with you so it's not during the weekly, lol. Yeah, I if I had any say in that, I would definitely attempt to get them to change it, but no say in any of those kind of things. Anyway, we will report on it nonetheless. I've got a Quick Kick video coming very soon, deep dive for Quick Kick, and then obviously one that will follow for Big Boa and Mutton Junkyard. But they take ages to put together. And I'll say, like, when I get home, I'll finish that and get that done. And then I get home and there's 3 news bursts to do. So it's been really busy this week. So there's my excuse for that. But you will be getting a deep dive on Quick Kick, Mutton Junkyard, and Big Boa eventually. Quick Kicks first. And also there's Outback, who we've been unboxing today. Had a great time, guys. It's always a pleasure. I will see you on the next thing today, which will probably be the news burst. And have a great one. You know what to do at the end of all these episodes. After 3, just before I go, I always miss some comments that are like quite important. No, that's it. We're all gone. Right. After 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. See you later. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. And as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter at The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.